Right, all you CushCore runners out there, I'm going to show you a quick way to install it and my way of installing it really. So let's get to it. First things first, no sealant. I'm going to put the tyre on. Set it up as if it's already ready to go, you know, sealing in and blah blah blah. So it's on. I'm going to pump it up, explode the bead, and then leave one bead on. I'll show you. Maxxis tyres and DT Swiss rims, always floor pump, no worries. Anyway, beads are on. Shout out Petey's for the core remover. Especially if you're trying to do this fast, say you're in a race or whatever and you have to get to the next stage. You have to take it out or whatever. Get the air out. Sticking back in. So real time. This will be a real time CushCore install. Now hopefully this doesn't go terribly wrong. It doesn't always go to plan. So we're just going to pop one bead off. Try and leave the other bead on. So put your thumbs against the rim instead of the tyre at the back when you're cutting the bead off. Feed it all into the centre. Pretty standard stuff. Have better tyre levers than I do. You'd think I'd have good tyre levers by now, which I do, but they're in the bottom of the toolbox. So no matter. Looking. Tyres half off. Bead's still on this side. CushCore. 2 feet. Nearly into it. Now don't overdo this because you'll snap it. Nice little stretch. And feed her in. I like to put one of those grooves right where the valve is. So it's mostly in. Now I just got to feed it into this last little section. Now if you don't stretch it, I don't need to stretch it for long because this is old, but if it's new, stretch it for longer and you'll know. As soon as you try and put it in, you'll see that there's it's not going in. So good stretch, that's in, that's sitting in perfectly. Now the reason I leave that seal there, that bead on there, is because the bead, if it's not beaded and set up properly, the bead will sit back into the rim and it makes it that much harder to get the centre of the CushCore where it needs to be. So that CushCore is sitting right in where it needs to be now. So it's simply a case of feeding this bead. So I always start at the valve, just left of the valve or right of the valve, and just start rolling. So I push the tyre forward first, then roll it in, roll her in. Once you got a spot, see that's beautiful, that's sitting in there now, so that's good. That should anchor. Shouldn't give me too much grief as I go around. Just go back and anchor it. Because you get it in, but not all the way in. So once it's in, again, you roll it and anchor it right down into the bottom of into the well of the rim. Simple, but effective. God, I hope this is easy at the end. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Depends on the tyres you're running, mostly. And always have the maxi sign at you. Well, not always, I don't care. People I never used to, and people always used to rag on me about it. And now I do it almost religiously, so I guess I'm just one of the sheep. Maxi's fanboy sheep. So when you get close to here, it's going to get real tight. So just go back a bit. Make sure it's all fed. You can see some of the spots aren't quite into right there. It's not into the center. See, beautiful. That's back into the center again. It just gives you a little bit less tension there, so a little bit more free bead to start massaging it in. And then this last bit, I'm just going to lever in. So don't go too far with your lever, just go, maybe 50 mil past where the bead's in. And you know what? I did it again. Got to put some sealant in there. So I'm going to crack this. I'm just going to feed it through there. Bit of stands because I've run out of PDs, but I'm going to buy some more PDs because it's at the local shop now, and in all honesty, their new stuff, the new PD stuff's killer. It's good, so get another bottle of that. I'm not too picky on my measurement in there, I just go liberal, plenty in there, and you're not. A little bit more, because less is less, more is more. Leave it. Now, I always leave the valve spot till last because the valve takes up space in that well. And if you're super tight, you need as much space as you can get. That's it. She's in. So CushCore ain't the nightmare that everybody says it is, as long as you do it correctly and yeah, use a little bit of creativity, I guess. Same story again, just a floor pump. Some of you are probably going to ask, what's your floor pump? Oh, a bit of dribble. What's your floor pump? It's a surface, whatever. It's just a cheapie from the shop, Whippets, but it's good. Does a good job. It used to have a little catch here, so this doesn't, bounce free when you got it stored, but it's all good. I broke that catch. Check the bead, make sure the bead's all even, both sides. Good, job done. That's set up at about 29 psi, all beaded. Another trick is a little bit of sealant on your bead before you pop it out if it's gonna be a tight bead or you're afraid that the bead's not going to take properly. But that's it. CushCore, so good. And double down aggressor. So that's the tyre I've plugged and fixed. He's asked me about it. I plugged it ages ago. I plugged it and it didn't work. And then I did a patch on it. And I spoke about the patch ages ago. So let's see if this patch holds. I'm sure it will, but we'll see.